want to tell you a little bit about Stan. My dealings with is he lived about 5 or 4 miles from Tree here, and he loved his Corvette. That Corvette was his life, and he loved people, his friends, and we all loved him. And it shows you because they're all here, you know. And we could have had more here, but some people had plans, you know. And we advertised it so long, you know, and stuff like that. But anyway, I really don't know what to tell you about him except for he was a nice guy and loved his Corvette very much. He works that thing all the time, sometimes 2 times a day, you know. But he did like his Corvette.
Well, I probably will talk a little bit longer because I have some good stories about him, and I'm sure he'd be just thrilled that I was telling him. Anyhow, but I do thank you all for coming. This is just amazing. So a little bit about growing up with Stan. He was actually born we're in Meridian, Idaho, which is really close to Boise. And he lived in numerous towns throughout his life. But he finally made it to his forever home in Belfair, which he loved. He graduated from Hudson's Bay High School in Vancouver, and he studied music and drawing and design and photography at both Clark College and Portland Community College. He was a very talented musician, and one of his favorite things was playing with the Prairie Fire Band. After looking at his Facebook a little bit closer, I mean, he had hundreds of photographs on that page and videos. And I realized he was really an amazing photographer. Now, I printed out some of the pictures, obviously, just a few that are there that just kind of struck my heart. There's one of a little girl eating a lollipop that, I mean, he just totally captured. So you might want to take a look at that. And when you go home, take a look at his Facebook page and also his Stan Young Canal Side Photography. He has a special page for that, which I didn't know existed. Anyhow, so as kids, Stan and I were really close. Our moms were sisters, and we were 2 peas in a pod. 2 rather quirky peas in a pod. We would have these huge family get-togethers with lots and lots of extended family, and we were always excited to spend time with each other. He had a sister, Susie, who passed away a couple of years ago. He also has a brother, Bob, and he has 2 nephews in Phoenix. I don't know how much you guys know about him. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know. He was a very hard worker. He had numerous jobs, and the ones that I knew about was Washington State Lottery, his canal side photography. He had also the Red Corvette Media, and something to do with Famillion Northwest, and I'm not sure what that was. But as Larry said, he loved that '86 Corvette. It was his baby. He really enjoyed getting me into the passenger seat and flooring it while I was holding on for dear life. I think he got a kick out of watching, and he'd always call me his cuz white-knuckling it. He was always inviting people to go with him for a ride, and you were really special if you got to get behind the wheel. On Facebook, there is a video of him taking his neighbor's child, his name was Riker, for his first ride in a race car. And if you have a chance to look at it on Facebook, it's just precious.
We'll make sure that all the cars are coming. We've got one coming from way up there.
I don't see any cars.
I see one over on this side.
Oh, car coming.
Yeah, but he's not in our way. Okay, you ready? Here goes.
Lamborghinis are fast
slow.
You know that's our old park, but it's closed. It's surrounded by fences.
Oh,
Since the virus. Wait, we're going here?
yeah. Okay, we need to get out our park pass. Is there somewhere? There it is. This is how they know that we paid our dues and we can go in the park.
No, look. The park's closed.
No, it's not. We just need to get in through the correct entrance.
So I can play in the park?
Well, we're just gonna turn around and head back to the babysitter's house. See, it's 10 miles an hour here, so we have to go really slow.
So, are we gonna go fast again?
Well, we'll go pretty quick back to the house, yeah.
Some of the things that Stan loved and some of the things from our past, he loved his Finnish heritage. He loved nature. He was always telling me to where to go to get the cheapest bird seed. And he didn't have just one feeder in the backyard. His porch, I saw pictures of it, had numerous ones hanging underneath. He loved being a ham radio operator and tried multiple times to recruit me for that too. But he had a whole network of friends there. I think his absolute favorite place was the Oregon coast, especially time that we spent as kids and adults in Seaside. And that's where he will be scattered at the place that he loved. He's with us, by the way. He is on the table up there. As kids, we used to go ice skating at Lloyd Center. And weaker ankles you have never seen on a kid. He would, I'm not kidding, he would skate around with the blades out this way on the insides of his feet. I don't know how he did it, but he did. He was talented enough to fall off a hay bale and break both of his arms. When I walked into the hospital room, there was Stan with his 2 huge casts. And rather than allow his mom to help feed him, he was holding these, what they call now like freeloader forks, but these were spoons that were about like this long, and his arms were up in some kind of contraption. So he had the spoons on either side trying to feed himself. He'd rather do that than ask for help. So we went on what we would later call the dysfunctional family Christmas tree outings, which I'm sure many families have their own version of the dysfunctional family Christmas tree outing, where we'd head up to Mount Hood for what seemed to be hours and hours while our moms would march around trying to find the perfect trees. It should have been a fun outing, not so much. We were excited when June came around and we'd head downtown for the Rose Festival Grand Floral Parade. Stan and I always had a great seat because we sat on top of the station wagon. Three of probably the most sentimental things for me, we would, on Christmas Eve, we would go out searching for Santa Claus. And the oldest kid in the house would be the one, or the person that drew the shortest straw would be the one that have to take the kids out. And upon coming back to the living room, it was filled with presents, and of course, we just missed him. As adults, Stan and I would reminisce each Christmas about that true mystical event, and wish we could go back and relive it just one more time. One of our more bizarre things that we came up with is that we did the Easter roll race. And I'm not talking about the Easter egg roll race, I'm talking about the Easter roll race. This particular Easter, we were celebrating in the backyard. While the hordes of family were drinking their Blitz beer, Stan and I would think of creative things to do. And no one was paying attention to us, I'm sure. Anyhow, there was a huge bowl of rolls on the table. So Stan and I thought it would be fun to see how many rolls we could eat while running around the outside of the house. So we'd grab a roll, as we were running, eat the roll, get around to the back to the rolls, grab another roll, go around the house. After about the 5th roll, trip around the house, it didn't end well.
Yeah, I can picture
And
that.
as adults every Easter, I would check on him to make sure that he had bought enough rolls. I can still hear his laughter. When we were young, after each one of our family dinners, together with my dad, Stan's Uncle Harold, Uncle Harold would present Stan with a bill for the dinner. Stan got to a point when he knew just to expect it. So he would wait patiently after dinner until the bill arrived. The two of them would banter back and forth with the, "What do you mean you don't have any money? You'll have to wash the dishes." The older Stan got, the bigger the bills. I know this was one of his most cherished memories. And now for the serious stuff. His friends meant the world to him, as Larry said also. Your car club, each and every one of you were family. When I visited the car club last July, he was so excited to introduce me to his other family members. His last Christmas, some of you cheered him up by surprising him at home with what he called the Christmas flash mob. Just so you know, he absolutely loved it. He talked about it, and it was such wonderful kindness. Thank you. I don't know if his boss is here. I'm guessing maybe not, but I'm going to pass that up. So I'm sure you all know that Stan had cancer, but he only battled it for about 8 weeks. And he kept going clear to the end. I know there are a lot of people here that help take care of him. And I also, I want to thank those of you who I know had to show him a bit of tough love. And I know this wasn't easy, but it was needed, and I totally appreciate it. He was a stubborn guy. I would do my best from long distance, but if he didn't want to do something, he wasn't going to do it. So I want to thank my daughter, Colina, and Jeff, who more than once came to Stan's aid when I wasn't here. And a special thank you to my husband for his generosity. So I really thank you for coming. And we're going to open it up to anyone else that would like to speak.
Thank you guys all for coming. The cruise that we went on today was kind of a sentimental cruise. It's not as well as beautiful. But when Stan got his new Corvette, Larry had his and we had ours, and so that was a route that the three of us took. So it wasn't just a pretty drive for you guys, it was a sentimental drive for us as well. So he would be smiling if he knew that we remembered that.
I need to get up after eating all that. Stan was a wonderful guy. And you know, one thing about Stan, whenever Deb and I were with him when he was leaving or whatever, he'd always say, "I love you guys." Every time. I love you guys, you know. And we loved him too. I got one story, if you like. About 10 o'clock at night, and Stan calls. Now this is the time when he was not doing so well. It was kind of, you know, but at 10 o'clock at night, you know, he says, "I got a problem." So what is it, Stan? You know, what's the matter? He said, "My Corvette is running. The keys are in it, and my doors are locked, and the fob is inside. What do I do?" thinking, oh shit, what do we do?
We're not neighbors, we live like 45 minutes apart.
So, I said, okay, we'll be over in a few minutes. I mean, whenever it takes to get there. And so we drove over, and Stan was in the garage. This is like 11 o'clock now. And he's on the driver's side, and he's got the hood open, and but the car's still running. But no way to get in it. That's a problem. I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm gonna fix this. Is there a locksmith at 11 o'clock at night? But anyway, I went over, he was on the driver's side over by the battery and stuff, and you can't really turn off that way. But I went over, I was on the passenger side, and as I walked by, I opened the door.
Oh, poor guy.
Been there, done
What'd
that.
you do? I said, open the door. I reset and turned it off.
Didn't lock the door.
We love Stan and we miss him. And I'm so glad you guys came from Idaho.
Report, and we went out there and we saw him and we saw him taking pictures and so it was quite a bit later and I said, your name's Stan? He said, yeah. I said, I heard you have a brother Bob. And he said, yeah. I said, well, so do I. So we had to connect. We were kidding. So I said, could you just sit down and we'll revisit? So the first thing I found out, I said, well, you do all the photography. I said, well, you know, I owned a photography company. And he said, wow, you did. And I took pictures and did it for the newspaper. And then we were talking a little bit later and said that, what's that? I'll talk louder. So he had the interest. And then something said something about music. And I said, well, you know, I started my life playing in rock and roll bands and country western bands, wherever I could get a job. And he said, well, so did I. I said, I was a drummer, and he said he played guitar. So we talked for a long, long time after that. And I said, well, you know, we have a small group of people, Kids Up Street Rod, and our goal in life is just to go places, travel. You know, we like local shows, but we go to Canada, Montana, Idaho, California, Arizona. We've been all over, and every year we take like 5 trips. And I said, we'd love to have you join us. And he said, oh, I couldn't do that. I said, why? He said, well, I don't know all the other guys. And I said, well, don't worry about that. And he said, besides that, I don't think I can get out of town. I mean, with a car like that. And I said, well, tell you what, our next one up, you're going with us. And he said, okay. He said, where are you going? And I said, well, we're going to go to Hub City, which is a show at Chehalis. And he said, okay, tell you what, I'll go part way. And I said, okay, we'll meet in Belfair. We're going to go from Belfair to Shelton. He said, I can go that far. Then I'm going to turn around and come home. I said, okay, we got to Shelton. I said, okay, Stan, we'll see you later. And he said, why is that? And he said, I said, you're only going to go that far. So I said, well, the next stop is Raymond. And he said, I love going down towards the ocean to Raymond. I said, okay, we'd love to have you continue. So we get to Raymond, and they got the festival down there and some cars, and I said, okay, Stan, nice having you travel with us. Well, do you think I'm leaving? I said, you told me you were. So I said, then we went to a car museum and got to Centralia, and I said, now let me guess, you don't want to have dinner with us, right? Oh, I said, no, I can't. And I said, do you know your way home from here? He said, I'm on I-5 and gone. And so that was only like 3 months before he passed away. So we hope that he can continue to travel with us and do stuff, but at least we got one time out there that he really enjoyed. So.
About regarding that, but I can remember when you went up and started talking to Stan, and you invited him to go to Kids Up Street Rides and come and travel with everybody. And he said, why don't you get anyone's invited me every year to belong to a club? And he goes, well, it's not like a club, it's just a group of people. And he goes, wow, that's really neat. And he'd always been kind of quiet. So I called Ron one day, we're out at the airport. Here's Stan, he's up, he's got the microphone, and he's announcing this and he's announcing that. All of a sudden, that shy little guy disappears. Now we got the broadcaster guy. So I kind of laugh about that because he goes, oh, who's everybody?
Hey, Don.
You know, Stan was a very valued member of our Corvette Club. He's a very valued member of our Corvette Club, always willing to help out in any fashion. Or, he was always willing, able, and very capable individual. Took a lot of photographs of our events. We definitely appreciated that. Yeah, he was always such a nice guy to talk to. Very pleasant person. I don't think I ever heard him speak ill of anyone. He was just a great guy, all-around guy. He definitely missed. Yeah, and he did love his Corvette. There's no question about that, but it was not to love, right? Anyway, but yeah, we're sorry to see him, have him gone, and, but hopefully he's gone on to a better place, so.
Also, we had 7 cars here today. I think that shows something, how important Stan was to our club. I don't have a prepared sheet here to say anything, but a couple things I do remember about Stan. Every Corvette event that we had, there he is. He's got his camera out. He's taking pictures. He's preparing something for YouTube. It was just wonderful. This was a great cruise today. The only thing that I thought was missing was Stan with his camera.
Yep. Everybody has something to say about Stan. A lot of you people don't know that he opened up for Willie Nelson back in the day. Yeah, he was very proud of that. And he had a whole video of that.
Seriously, I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Yeah.
He opened up for Willie Nelson, one of his shows. Yeah, and he was very quiet and very stubborn.
Very stubborn.
Yeah. We had our rounds. I wouldn't talk to him for about 2 weeks, and then he'd show up my driveway and say, "Are you mad at me?" I said, "Yeah." Anybody else have anything to say? Don't be shy.